Thanks so much, Kaiman, for the awesome fan art. I love it. Howdy, it's your bud Stalkaz. In today's video, I'm going to cook up some sugar cookies. See what I did there? Anywho, let's get cooking. So this recipe is really simple actually, and it just requires a hoofful of ingredients. See what I did there? So as per usual, whenever you're baking, you always want to preheat your oven first. The temperature's already good to go. So we're going to set the oven to 325 degrees Fahrenheit. Alright, the ingredients are as follows. So we have 2/3 a cup of granulated, aka white sugar, and an additional 3 tablespoons of sugar off to the side on a plate. I'll explain why later. We need 2 cups all-purpose flour, a cup of butter, room temperature, so you might want to sit it out before you get out of the fridge. We're going to use tablespoon, they call for a teaspoon of vanilla extract, but I always go for a tablespoon because vanilla's vanilla, it's really good. And then finally some sprinkles. You can also use some of those nonpareils, those little sugar balls, but I like the multicolored sprinkles. And then the supplies we need to use. We have a nice big bowl, suitable for mixing, a handheld electric mixer. They call for a cookie scoop, but I only have an ice cream scoop, so it's good enough. And I'm going to use a 1/2 cup measuring cup, and we're not actually going to measure it with this. We're going to do something else. I'll show you that later. Also, we're going to need 2 traditional baking trays lined with wax paper, and believe me, you definitely want to use wax paper. You'll thank yourself later. When you're done, you're also going to want to have a spatula to scoop these bad boys up. Alright, let's get cooking. So I'm going to go ahead and ruin the magic because it's going to get a little messy, so pardon me. So first, we'll just dump in the butter into the mixing bowl. And then we'll go ahead and pour in the sugar. Now, of course, with handheld mixers, you always want to start from the lowest setting first and gradually work yourself up to get faster. You never want to start in the fastest setting first because there's going to be food flying everywhere. I'm just going to go ahead and use our mixer. We're going to just mix it up. Alright, now once it's good and mixed up, we're going to go ahead and add the flour. Now, generally the rule of thumb is you want to add little by little, not all at once. So we'll just pour some in. And we'll mix again. And we'll add some more. Yeah. And the reason why I do it gradually is it helps keep the clumps out. pour in the remainder of the flour. And mix it all up. Alright, and then once it's mixed up good enough, this is the messy part. We're going to go ahead and we're just going to clump it all together with our hands and kind of mash it together like Play-Doh. I always loved playing with Play-Doh as a kid and brings back so many fond memories. So let's get messy. Ah, guess what? I almost forgot the vanilla. We gotta add some vanilla into this. So, like I said before, the recipe calls for a teaspoon. Let's use a tablespoon. There we go. It's alright because the recipe calls to add vanilla in at the end anyway. So we'll just mix this up with our hands. As you can see, the vanilla also helps with the consistency. So it goes from being a bunch of clumps into actual cookie dough. The kind you can get ready-made at the store. So this is Play-Doh that's actually real dough. I love cookie dough, especially, you know, the chocolate chip cookie dough flavored ice cream. Oh, it's so good. Alrighty. And the thing is with cookie dough, if it's a little too much on the sticky side, you can always add in a little bit more flour. But I always err on the side of stickier rather than drier because it's really hard to deal with. It's a little too dry and crumbly. Alright. So now that everything's mixed together, I didn't forget any ingredients, I'm going to go ahead and use my handy dandy ice cream scoop. This is what has the little device that helps scoop it out, or you can just use like the regular one where you just scoop and plop. So I have it set up, so I have your bowl of cookie dough, then we have your plate with the 3 tablespoons of sugar, and what we're going to do is we're going to use that to coat the cookies, because that exterior sugary crust, it's so good! And then we have our baking tray with the wax paper, because if you don't use wax paper, it's murder to clean it up and scoop them, so with the wax paper, the cookies peel right off with that spatula. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and scoop it up, and you basically want to scoop it so it's almost to the top of the scoop, but not exactly at the brim. And as the cookies bake, as you probably know from science class, heat always expands, so the cookies will get bigger as they bake. Pat it down, and I'll just plop it in my hand. I'll plop it in my hand, and we'll just kind of roll it. Again, just like Play-Doh, just kind of roll it into a ball. In fact, I might just take a little bit away from here. A little too much. Roll it into a ball, like so. We're going to roll around the sugar, so we have a nice sugary coating on the outside, and then we'll just put it right here in our tray. And we could fit about 6 of these on the tray, like 2, 2, and 2. And just keep repeating the same process until you use up all your cookie dough. As you see, one tray is done. That's about what this should look like. So now we'll go ahead and fill the other tray. Take the last bowl of cookie. Coat it well with sugar. Onto the tray. Alright. Once all your cookie balls have been formed, next step is to use our handy dandy measuring cup. I used a half cup, seems to be a good size. And we're just going to gently press down and flatten them so they transform from cookie balls to actual cookies. Just gently press, 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 press. Make some nice and smooth on top. And we'll do the same for the other tray. So there we go, cookies. All right, and last but certainly not least, we're gonna add a few sprinkles to the top. Just gotta garnish the sprinkles there. Try not to get too messy with them. Funny now to think about it, there's a lot of similarities between sugar cookies and ice cream. I mean, a lot of people like chocolate chip cookie dough. Ice cream itself, you have to use, well, I use the ice cream scoop for the cookie balls, and of course, what's ice cream without sprinkles, right? Alright, now our cookies are fully formed. Let's pop these bad boys into the oven. So we already have the oven preheated at 325 degrees. And we'll pop them in for about 15 minutes. The recipe calls for about 14 to 16. So let's go for a happy medium. And we'll set the timer to 15 minutes. Are. All right, see you in 15. Alrighty, the timer just went off. Let's check out these bad boys. To the oven. Oh, it smells so yummy. Delicious cookies. But before we can sink our teeth into these, we have to let them sit and cool for a while, about 10 minutes or so. Alright, it's been about 10 minutes, so once you cooled off enough, it's time to scoop these babies up, and then we can devour them. Now you'll see very quickly why wax paper is absolutely essential. Yep, peel right off. Cookies, yeah! And here they are. fresh, delicious sugar cookies. Now, you could either sink your teeth into them right now and devour, or another common practice is, leave them out on the plate and let others help themselves with goodies, or you can put some, plastic wrapper over them to keep them fresh. Or my favorite option is a handy dandy Garfield cookie jar. And go right in there. Well, there it is, folks. Sugar cookies. It's a really easy recipe. Simple ingredients, simple steps, and they're absolutely delicious. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and you guys try out the recipe for yourself and let me know how it works out for you. Go ahead and like, comment, subscribe. This is Stalkaz. See ya!